What's up? This is the editor you're editing in the middle of the night. I just want to mention that there's gonna be a lot of amps in this video. Please forgive me. Akwaaaaaaaaba, my friends. You're probably wondering, why am I talking about cards in real life and not in the sim? Don't worry, I got you. But hey, it is me, your boy, the one and only, fresh off casting, heading to Create Fair tomorrow. But I wanted to make this deck profile and showcase it. I will edit this video a lot, so I will just talk out of my ass and then I put the cards that I'm talking about on screen, probably somewhere like, I don't know, here. I don't know where my hand is. I will figure it out. But yeah, this is a really weird style of starting out, not starting with the rookies and whatever. But if you see this, I think it will create a picture in your head, because I took it from actually one guy that I really respect, Jan Birkemeyer, who did a similar style, but that's a lot of yapping. So Ouranosmon, right, our boss monster over here, probably showcasing it on screen, right? Really nice deck. It has a lot of cards in it and a lot of choices. Let's talk about the non-options, right? Cards that are 4 off in every list that you will always see, no matter what, right? Which we start off with Swipemon. Swipemon, pretty easy. When linked, you get one draw. Helps you find your pieces. It is actually crucial. You could play the new one too, but this is not an Uko deck. You do go through your rookies a lot, and you will see why I have so many rookies in a second. But I do like the consistency of the draw, so I just play 4. And then we have each level, right? Ignore the Tamers. We will start with the bottom levels, right? These 3 rookies are the bread and butter. MCmon is a searcher who searches the top 3 cards and finds you an entertainment Digimon, which is essentially your Mediamon, your Entermon, or your Awakening, so this is your level 6, and any Appmon. So this can also find your Tamer, which is really nice. Also, he costs 1 to link, and he trashes 1 source, any source, which is really good against pesky ace users. But that's why you play him. Musimon, funnily enough, isn't as important as I thought in the beginning. He is the same equivalent as Gachmon, but a bit worse, because yes, he plays out his Tamer for free when he gets linked. However, his Tamer is not as good as Hao. But he has an, I guess, okay effect when he attacks. When he's linked, he gets -2. But other than that, you just have him to cheat out your Torgio, and that's more about it, right? And then you have Rekomon, which is really good. Like his link effect is a blocker, but his on-play effect is you pitch a Digimon. I learned that the hard way recently. A Digimon with Appmon in his trades to draw 2 cards. If you take a glance, I'm not playing Scopemon or whatever this Digimon is called, but drawing 2 more cards is really good, because sometimes you just don't have what you need, and they are going to Mediamon. But let's continue, right? Because the rookie lineup is a bit special. I'm playing Navimon and Tweetmon. Navimon, hopefully showcasing out on screen, is also a searcher, but instead of searching for entertainment, it searches for an Appmon Digimon and an App driver, so basically a Tamer, which, yeah, you know, they are Tamers, right? Isn't as versatile as MCmon, but helps out in the pinch. He gives piercing, which in the most recent games I didn't need, because I just removed the board anyways, but I will get to that. But I think it can in clutch. And Tweetmon is is on play, and when linking, draw 1 is really nice in combination with Swipemon, because if I know my board is full, right? But you have Musimon, you link for 1, you draw 2 cards, and then if from those 2 cards, if you didn't already find him, you can get your Tamer out, which is really nice. So Tweetmon is a really good card. And I'm also using Tweetmon and Navimon to get into Dugachmon, which is not the reason why he's in the deck, but it's a nice side effect to have. And again, having additional searchers for your top end is really nice. Now, I talked about level 3s. Let's go back to what we were starting in the pyramid. MCmon, Musimon, and Rekumon will app fuse for the cost of 0 into Mediamon. And oh boy, this guy is packing in a punch. He is he's not rare like Gugachmon, but it doesn't really matter because on play and when Digivolving he gives -4 to something outright. No problem. You can also hard evolve into for him for free, but I wouldn't really do that if you were me. But yeah, so you would obviously want to app fuse into them. You have a lot of ways to do that. Sadly, these rookies do not allow you to app fuse into him, but you still want to have a rookie because sometimes you're running out of rookies really quick. Because his your turns effect is whenever he gets linked, you are allowed to play out a rookie, which best case scenario is an MCmon or a Navimon to search even more into your deck. And then he's also one of the pieces to go into the next piece. But let's talk about this when linking effect. When his link effect is when attacking, you can spit out another free cost rookie, right? A level 3 basically. So really versatile, really a good way to spam board, but you will notice in a short minute you don't really have problems spamming board. Let's go to the other counterpart, which is Dreamon. Dreamon is a really good effect. All turns, when he gets linked, either you remove a rookie of media to go into Entermon, he cannot be bounced in any shape or form, which can be nice. And his linking effect is actually Digivolve, which is really good to remove certain things. Like MCmon and Digivolve is a really nice combo. But he's there. He also costs 2, like also these 4 rookies, 4 champions. Or actually they're not called champions in this game, they are called supers. And sometimes it comes up because you have a lot of ways, but I will talk about it in a second. Now, before I talk about these, right, I want to talk about the Gachmon real quick because then it would fulfill this this combo, right? The Gachmon, usually you don't want to evolve into him. The only reason you have him is if you want to get out another body, which you have a lot of ways to do, and you want to swing. His effect of when he's linked, he can swing, doesn't come up because spoiler, I'm not playing App Link, but he's a really good card to just cheat out at one, because they usually if they see this, they don't expect you to play something that has rush. And yes, you have alliance, but you can spam out your board so massively. You can alliance with anything and you are big enough anyways. So this is just really good in a late game to just spit out a body that can swing and finish the game, especially if your opponent is on 1 security, you swing for Ouranosmon and there. But I will go into it. But rounding off the supers, we have Effectmon and Rawmon. Both are security Digimon. If you notice, I don't play any options that are really bombs. These are Rawmon is actually pretty good for disruption because if it comes out of security, he taps something unconditionally. Let me double check, but you see it on the screen anyways, and it's gonna be fun editing this. So this taps a Digimon unconditionally, and this shoots down a Digimon that's 4 or less. I sometimes use them to go into Fakemon. It doesn't really happen that much. That's why I cut them. I initially had them on 4. Cut them down to 2. They're really good pieces for disruption because again, they remove pesky blockers. You have a lot of reduction, which we get into. And again, in a pinch, they will go into Fakemon. Sometimes you can't get out of raising because you don't have the pieces yet. So sadly, you need to hard evolve into one of your level 4s, and these 8 are really nice. You would obviously want to use them because then if you link for 2, you can go into Entermon, then continue. Fakemon is not as good in that regard, but I will get to it in a second. But I think they're still valuable. You can make the argument to cut these 2 to 1, but I will talk about that in a second. Which you cannot cut, however. I mean, I will again edit the video properly this time, so you will see the cards. Are these level 4s? Level 5, sorry. You could make the argument to cutting one of this, but again, I will talk about it in a second. But for now, I will play all 4 copies of them because I think they are really invaluable. Like, you cannot go without Entermon, or yeah, Entermon, because he's entertainment, right? He is level 5 with Alliance, on play when Digivolving. you may link something from the hand or from his sources, so that he doesn't, if you play him hard for whatever reason, I don't see him being played for by anything actually, but maybe something in the future, you can link him, and then his your turns effect will trigger, which will enable him to play out the level 4 or lower from his hand. So if you see the line, he spits out the level 3, he spits out the level 4. This can spit out the Dougarchmon, to swing, to be aggressive. This can spit out another body, which then, if you go up to Ouranosmon, can spit out another body, which you have multiple cards to target. He has Alliance himself, so he can swing with the body if necessary. And the really important part is his when linking effect. At the beginning I thought it's not that good, but I will just read it out again. You should have the card on screen. When linking up to, let me double check, to one of your opponent's Digimon, give -4k DP for the turn for each of your Digimon with the Epmon trait. Which, if you listen to me remember for like the last 5 minutes, you have a lot of Digimon on the field. I will just show some basic combos in a second, probably cutting some things here, but again, you have a lot of Digimon on the field, and this guy removes anything, and you can link him. I mean, he's costly, he costs 3, but Ouranosmon links something for free anyways, so it is really, really, really good. And then Fakemon, not as good as he, but he's still really good. Unplay when Digivolving, he can link from his sources too, or from the trash, which gives you a bit of recursion if you need to grab something back. Note that they only link level 4s, so they can't link each other, which is a bit of a bummer, but I think it would be too broken. And then all turns effect, when this Digimon would leave, he would play the linked Digimon for free. So I guess that's the only reason why they have on play, so they can play each other out if they are under Fakemon. Here's Retaliation, but I think the best reason and why I'm still running him at 4 is Scapegoat. He has Scapegoat, which helps you against like I guess a red dominated meta that's something that wants to delete, because if they get bounced right at the bottom deck, it doesn't really help you. But yeah, and then we have our final boss monster, Ouranosmon. Alliance, Link +1, similar to Gaia. I forgot, the other one from the Dougarchmon. You know who I mean. His when Digivolving, when attacking effect is, you can play out the Digimon, and when you play it out a level 4 Digimon, and when you play it out a Digimon, you can then take sources that you have and link them to any Digimon. It doesn't need to be himself. And I think people underestimated this really, like at the beginning. But trust me, this can be really, really nasty, especially with the Tamers and the options, which I will get to right now. So Haru, I play him at 3. I have a 3-3 split. I currently like it. Haru is your memory setter. He gives you, in the early game, just draw, because his your turns effect is, if your Digimon gets linked, you can tap him to draw, and then if you want to, you can app fuse, which enables you to do a few combos. And then him, Tojo, he's not a mem setter. He gives you a memory if your opponent has a Digimon on the field, and then similar to Haru, he lets you app fuse when your Digimon is linked. However, he gives -2k, which doesn't seem a lot, but you can still cheat him out when you have one of your Tamers with your Muzimon, and he can really be a problem, because he still enables you to get down to business. And then, which I think is the biggest surprise for people that actually play this deck, I play only 2 Music of the Heart. It's a 2-cost option that is activate main, draw 1, and then delay. When you play a Digimon, you can delay it to link something for free. So it's a really, really good card. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a really, really good card, but I'm having trouble finding space because I value a lot of consistency. You can make the argument you don't need Navimon, you can just run Tweetmon. I don't have a problem with that. You can run a lesser split of these, but I like to have the maximum amount, so you can go into Mediamon consistently. You can honestly cut these two to 1 and then play more of these, but then you are committed to always link it hard and never have the option. And also, again, they're really nice in the early game. Sometimes you need to pass turn, you don't want to give your opponent that much memory. Giving them the Effectmon, or specifically Effectmon, Ouranusmon is not as good in this situation, but him resting a blocker unconditionally for 2 is really, really nice. So right now I'm just playing it at 2. So let me pack up real quick. You will see it cut, and then I will go up to some combos. Alright, we are back. So let's assume you start your turn with 1 memory, which is not a lot, but let's assume you just start with the turn with 1 memory. You can go, you can raise out, right? And that's the worst at 1 memory. You can, there are 2 options, right? Let me pull up the best bet is to have, if you do have your Tamer and you do see the line that I have in my hand right now, let me put my deck to the right. You use MCmon or Rekomon to put into your sources to draw 1 card and get this guy out. So then you pay 1, right? Which then allows you to app fuse into Mediamon. You draw an additional card, so you drew 2 cards, right? I didn't sort my deck, I didn't shuffle my deck, but I just drew 1. Then he will give something -4, so that's really good. And then if you have it, but it doesn't really need to be him specifically, but it would be nice. You have Digimon, you tuck him under for 2. There's nothing on the board usually, but you could DDG or whatever. This would trigger a few things actually. Mediamon would trigger, this would trigger, and this guy would trigger. Now the order is really important. Since we already use swipe on, we ignore swipe on for now. Mediamon would trigger, which allows you to play a rookie, which can be MCmon to find 2 more cards potentially, Rekomon to filter out 1 card from your hand and draw 2 more, or just a Treatment or Navimon, which is why I included these 2 to draw 1 more. Either Treatment just gives you a strict draw 1, or Navimon to draw you 1. If you're lucky, you draw 2 if you find a Tamer, but I usually don't. But that's the point. Digimon will DDG of something, and then you can use your Tamer, suspend him, give something -2 again. So if there's something like a 6k level 5 or a 6k level 4, it would be dead for sure. You can then app fuse into Mediamon, you draw for that again. Lord forbid you then fuse link something in your sources, which can be either an MCmon to strip another source. Musimon is irrelevant, and the best case scenario here would be Reko. Let me get Reko, because he gives you, give me 1 second. It was the next card I drew. He gives you blocker if you didn't have MCmon, but you can also link from hand, which is really handy, which also enables you, because it is linking for free, any level 4 or lower. So this enables you to remove something with the Effectmon, which if you give something -2, -4, you could remove a 10k, which is really nice. You can suspend something, you can DDG with something again with Digimon, you can set up something for next turn with Mediamon, but I wouldn't really slot something under here that is valuable, because next turn, best case scenario, you want to get Fakemon in. Either you just hard evolve, or you have Music of the Heart on the field, and then you use your Tamer to go into Ouranosmon. But Mediamon, since something got linked, you are allowed to play out another Digimon, which best case scenario is a level 4. So you can extend your plays next turn, or you find another rookie that searches and draws you and blah blah. I think you get the gist, right? So this is something you can do with 1 memory if you have the nuts. But again, even if you don't have all that, having the ability to go, you race, you get this out, you draw 2, is really, really nice to find your pieces. And then you just swing for the chip damage, worst case scenario. If you have the Tamer in hand, it's really nice, but if you don't, then that's life. But I will show another combo because I've yapped for too long, so I'll be there in a second. Alright, we're back, and yeah, so right now this is a really, oh, I forgot something. I need the Tamer for the point, but it doesn't really matter. If you have Music of the Heart and any shape or form, if you have a mem setter, if you are on 3, but let's just even assume you want to go to 1 and you don't want to overdo it, right? If you swing, you can play something out which would trigger due to him, which would trigger Music of the Heart to link something again, to then trigger his effect to play something out again. And let me just demonstrate it real quick. I just need to find the Tamer, because if the Tamer's on board, it is a lot better. So rhythm it is. It's one memory, right? You start maybe at 2 because of your Tamer, but it doesn't really matter. You swing. His Mediamon's linked ability, right? When attacking, you are allowed to play out a body for free, which is gonna be MCmon. He searches. We don't do it right now, right? Which will trigger Music of the Heart. You delay it because all times when a Digimon is played, you may link a Digimon from your hand to one of your Digimon without paying the cost. So you will link. You would just detach your Mediamon and link with the Fakemon. We're still in the when attacking, right? Which will trigger this guy's effect to play out another body. But more importantly, you can trigger him to give something -2, which we assume since we started at 1, there's nothing. But you can then app fuse in the middle, right? In the middle of the attack into Ouranosmon, right? Which then enables you to play out another body onto the field. So you played out 1, 2, 3 bodies. You're still attacking, which will trigger plethora of effects. You can say alliance with one of the bodies because you are 12k plus, most likely with oh sorry, I forgot. This is not linked. This is abused. My bad. Before somebody is gonna comment that. So he doesn't have anything in there, but doesn't really matter. You also draw full Swipemon. Doesn't really matter for what I'm trying to point out. You Digivolve into him. He's still attacking. You play out a body, and then you can just alliance. Why you play? Because you played something out again. You can take one of his sources, which he should be big, because if you app fuse and use the mechanics, you should have a few sources to link to anybody. It could be linking one of your Fakemons and Entermons to one of your level 4, so you can, if you hard evolve, which I wouldn't recommend, into one of your Entermons or Fakemons, you can go back into your guy. You can link your Dreammon into him, so you can evolve for free into Entermon. There's so many options, but I know that's really cherry picking, but in that situation, you spawned in a few bodies. They don't have rush. He has rush, and if you had more Digimons, I only play 2. You could have summoned more, but you are at least pushing at least 3 damage, and you still have a lot of other options to go for. Like you can link Record to get blocker, Scapegoat with Fakemon. There's a lot of things, right? And I can yap a lot more, but this video is already 26 minutes. So what's the point of this video, right? Ouranosmon is in my opinion, is a pretty decent deck. I will try to find some gameplay in person, because I personally don't find DCGO really enjoyable to showcase things, but maybe I will do that. And yeah, that was a long deck breakdown. I will edit this video as much as possible so you can see the cards in good quality on your screen, because I think this is really bad. It's my webcam, but life is hard. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this kind of video. I will try to make other decks that really interest me. I don't know, something about this deck it just put a spark in my body. I just wanted to talk about it because I like Musimon. I didn't even watch Epmon, but I really inclined to watch it now. I like Musimon. I like, you know, the entire gist of Musi Media Entertainment. Ouranosmon doesn't have anything to do with the stick, but hey, look at Globemon, right? look at Gaiomon. But I really like him and like being the music guy, and I feel like this deck can be really good. At the first time I played this, I really struggled. The first time I played this, I had Rawmon and Effectmon on 4 because I thought like, okay, you need to go up to your line. Then the more I played, the more I realized you don't need to. It's a nice bonus to have. These are not bad anyways because, again, I mentioned removing something, like being a blocker or something that would hinder you when it's active is really nice. And Effectmon just removing a 4 cost or less. Considering that with your Effectmon, not Effectmon, Entermon, you have a lot of ways to reduce one of your opponent's Digimon by a lot. This guy can essentially remove anything, if not Entermon removing something outright. Because also you spam the board, which makes your Entermon a lot bigger. There's consideration to play other cards that are not Epmon, like aces, like for example Shurumon Ace, which will flood the board even more. You can play Ruin mode because you have a really consistent way of getting up. I think the best changes I would probably make is maybe cut one fake one and play one more Music of the Heart. I currently don't want to because, again, Scapegoat is kinda underrated. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, that's my yap session for today. I'm sorry if I yapped too much. You can give me some feedback in the comments or privately. Depends on what you want to do. And I see you next time. Peace out.